And just like that, it's like I was never gone. My homosexuals, I missed you. But almost as much, I missed the weights. And I gotta tell you, I did fantastic today. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pretty worried getting into it because, doing 10 hours of driving, getting back from being out of town. I told you guys I was gonna go visit the fam in Florida, so there's just no gyms within like a 45-minute radius of my mom's place. So it was just me doing my own exercise. We actually went hiking and ziplining, so that was actually really cool. And you'd be surprised by how much hiking you have to do to zipline down a mountain. So that was very, very physically educational at the very least. I was just a little worried because, it's been a couple days since I got a good workout in, and I haven't done Olympic lifting since the last time you guys saw me. And the driving mixed with all the other stuff, it can be a lot on the body. It's a scary little thing sometimes. But, I was like, I'm here. I have plenty of time to go to the gym. I'm at the bare minimum going to try my best to do what I can. And I did originally set out to do another full clean and jerk day, like the day I left you guys off on. But I opted not to do that because the only reason I could find for myself to do so was to just make my program look a little pretty. It is not worth risking the consistency of your program for what you're trying to do and give out all your lifts that equal attention that they need just for the sake of, normally I do 3 days in a row and I normally start with a really heavy day, so I should just redo it again. It's like, nah, it's fine. I still put in that effort. The strength just didn't poof away in the matter of a few days. It'll come back twice as fast. I just got to do my best. And again, the weight doesn't matter. I'm going to do my absolute best either way. So why worry about how much weight I'm going to pick up for a lift that isn't feeling as confident as it used to? I just got to take my time and enjoy it while I can. And again, I can't neglect my power snatches and pause back squats. Like, what am I going to do when my core and my hands and my elbows start exploding? Because it's only going to be my own fault if that happens. I got to be mindful, be a little cutesy about my program so that everything gets the attention that it actually deserves to fully grow at the rate that it should. And I'm very, very thankful that I chose to stick with what was actually programmed. And again, a pause snatch day or a power snatch day with pause back squats was a very good day to get back into the lifts because it was a little bit easier on the full body, feeling like cardio Olympic lifts. And the pause reps definitely, you could say it not only bulletproof, but also shattered my low back and core. I was driving today. You'll see it at the end, but I would be surprised if you didn't hear me scream through the audio with how loud I was driving it. Because when you're in the shed with the boys by yourself in the middle of the woods at night, I'm going to yell. I'm going to yell, motherfucker. Because I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. Obviously, if you're in a public gym, be a little bit mindful. A little demure. Okay, I'm going to fucking stop because that is awful. You want to be a little bit mindful to people that might be very uncomfortable and could lift worse if you're going to scream your head off. But man, if you're with the boys or if everybody's okay with it, try it out when you're trying to do a big, absolute 100% kind of set. Because I told you guys that I will say I was doing a little bit too much volume in the prior weeks on this new program, trying to get that kind of 100% kind of feeling, but through set volume. Because when I was doing up to 5 sets, it was so much stress on my body. It was way too much. So now that I'm limiting it to 3 total sets at the most, a lot easier to do some decent weight with some good effort that doesn't overwork my body, because this is the way I kind of think about it. I never want to aim for just one working set because that means it was too heavy, but I also don't want to bank on getting 3. 2 is fine. 3, I exceeded beyond the limits I thought I was going to get. If I stop at 1, it is not because I'm hitting a PR set. It just means my body was not feeling good that day. I was just not strong enough to pick up the heavy stuff. And it's very important to recognize sometimes. It's not a bad thing if you just got to sit at that one working set because you don't want to hurt yourself. I did my first working set on squats today. Felt pretty tiring. But I knew I had another good one in me. My low back was pretty fried. because I just haven't been working out the way I normally do the past couple of days. But I knew it was more mental than physical. I stretched it out. I walked around, felt it. Felt great after a couple minutes. So I'm like, all right, well, now it's a mental game. And it's not often that I scream on the last 2 reps. It's normally just that last one because my body has lost all control of its core and I got to just let all the air out on the way up. And again, if you yell and let the emotions take over, you will lift heavier as long as you keep your technique and core strength consistent. But man, it was fun. I'm glad that I didn't just decide to do a really hard clean and jerk day after all this traveling and all this effort, and just to make the program look a bit cleaner, because the effort does not diminish just because you had to make a couple sacrifices to do what you felt was right for what you just wanted to do this week. My family hit me up. It's like, I'm not going to say no because I want to stick to the program. It's my fam. I don't get to see them that often. I love those guys and they cherish me and I cherish them. So of course you got to make some sacrifices sometimes. Again, that little break might just be what you needed to get back and do better. Look at me. I hit all new weights today comparatively to the first week of this more volume-based training. So on pause back squat, I was only able to do 2 sets at 345, and I was really grinding out. And today, we got the 365 for 2 sets of 6. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Oh my God. On the power snatch, I was equally as surprised because the last time I did it, I was only able to do 195 for 2 triples. And today I got up to 205, and might I add, quite confidently for 3 triples. That's some motherfucking progress right there. And it really goes to show that a lot of time you really do just need to get more confident in those heavier weights, because your body being scared of it is going to be the worst thing for your mentality and your efficiency and aptitude when you're trying to hit those peak sets, But with all that in mind, physically, I've got to give it at least a 9.35. It could have been higher, but I will say, if my low back was extraordinarily fried by the time I was at that last set of back squat. So, I wasn't super primed by any means, but it was a good day, and I drove through the weight really well. And these are weights that don't bounce as much like the crunch weights, and they're kg plates, so they at least feel heavier. And man, I love seeing some good effort shine through. I'll tell you what, there's no better feeling than seeing that good progress through the effort that you're trying to put in. Mentally, dude, it's a 9.7 for sure. I've had a great weekend. It was so, it's always an amazing experience to stick around the people that are going to be there for you no matter what. And just embracing a good time, not letting the bullshit get to you every single day. You're always going to have some stuff you got to go through, and it's always going to be tough. It can always be hard, all that kind of stuff. But man, you just gotta do your best, and any setback you go through is just going to be a matter of allowing yourself to grow through it. I truly believe that any setback you go through, or betrayal, whatever you want to call it, negative influence, is meant to make you grow. That's how you become the best version of yourself. And if you're just making good, positive progress like I'm doing today, that just means I'm right where I'm supposed to be. That's why I truly believe that I've got some greater purpose individually when it comes to the sport. It's not just about lifting heavy weight or lifting it in a cool way with good technique and good core strength or whatever. I genuinely love my life to a higher extent because of the way that I choose to lift these weights and the passion and the meaning I put behind them, not just about the number I put over my head, And I got to talking with a really good gym homie today. He's the guy that invited me out to the shed, and we had a long conversation, very productive. I love having a good conversation with someone who's open-minded to other people's perspectives, because we had the little talk of like, why aren't you religious? This is kind of what I've gone through and all that stuff. And it all kind of boils down to the fact of, you can be faithful and not be strictly religious. You know, it's not a requirement to have faith in your own life and have faith in the effort that you're putting in, just because you aren't Christian or whatever religion you want to be in, you know. And the way I explained it to him is I want to commit to being open-minded, you know, just as you know, it can be easy to get heated in that kind of a conversation because of the more societal, you know, standards put on it. But when you really just sit there and talk about what you feel and how you express yourself and what those experiences made you feel along the way, just for the sake of trying to better each other through a nice, positive conversation, we don't have that much different from one another. You know, people are a lot more common to one another than they really actually realize. You know, just because I'm not Christian like he is doesn't mean we don't still both have that good faith and we're doing our best in life. And the way I explained it to him was, you know, I kind of just believe everything in you that you believe in, with having faith that there's some sort of fate. You just got to do your best. Whatever setbacks are meant to make you grow. If you're doing good, you're where you're supposed to be. Keep putting your passion in those things and finding those deeper meanings, whatever you want to call it. I believe in all those things the same way. I just don't put the word Jesus or God in front of it, you know? And that's not that big a deal, you know? And I love a guy who will just hear me out and hear that perspective. Because even though it doesn't align with those typical requirements to be labeled as Christian, doesn't mean that they're invalid, you know? It doesn't mean that they're not a positive experience for someone else. And same thing, like if there's going to be some sort of God's plan, then maybe I'm just not on it yet. You know, that's the whole point of fate and having faith in your own life. If it's going to happen, let it happen. But something he said, it's not that I disagreed with it, because he's got his own reasons for feeling the way he does. But he told me that he basically feels that he wouldn't not want to believe, because then this would be the only life that we would have. And he wants to be able to have the opportunity to run through life doing whatever he wants to the highest extent of without any limitations, you know? And I can understand that, sure. It's a great thing to look forward to and have a nice hope for. But I don't like the idea of placing all of your hopes and dreams on the expectation of a futuristic ideology that is not proven, you know? It might not be there. And I hope it is. It'd be really cool if it was, because then we get to do whatever the fuck we want. We get to do whatever the fuck we want to, you know? It's an amazing thing. But I don't have that experience like he does. And I was like, the way I explained it to him is, if it's there, wonderful. But I told him that the life I'm currently living is going to be the one that I choose to be my best life, you know? My only life. That's what I want to believe. Because if I choose to believe that there's something better after, and I don't have to try so hard, or I don't have to worry so much about the things I go through in this life, it's just a way to cop out of doing your absolute best with the struggles that are presented to you. And it can make it easier to go through those struggles. That's kind of how he combats his own struggles in life, which is a good thing. But I don't like it when people ignore their struggles, you know, through some ideology that may or may not be there. Because I'm all about faith. Do what you got to do to be positive. And if it uplifts you, do it. Awesome. But I'm never going to expect anything to happen. Because that's not what life is, you know? I want to do the absolute best. I want to be content with the mindset and the life that I drive through right now. So that if I live through this life with the absolute best mindset and positivity and effort that I can absolutely muster, with the idea that this is all I got, so I got to make this my 100% best life possible. If there's an afterlife after this shit, oh, I'm going to be living large. You know what I mean? I'm going to have that 200%er kind of life. You know? But that's my whole point. Like, if you're going to expect something to happen for you, and just to make you feel a little bit better about the things you go through, then you're not going to truly enjoy the present moment that you're living in right now, you know? The past is meant for a positive perspective to learn from and adapt through, while the future is meant for a hope, you know? It's for goals. It's for an idea of what you want to strive for without the expectation limiting it, and limiting your personal, present, daily life. Live in the moment, That's all you can do. Why would you want to focus on anything else? It isn't possible to do anything other than live in the present moment, That's at least where I kind of stand, Not that, again, I'm all about any religion or whatever you want to believe in, as long as it stems positivity in your feeble little mind. But I love my life, He brought the question up of, if you died tomorrow, would you truly be content? And I said, for what I believe, absolutely. And he was like, what? You'd be fully content with everything you've ever done? You did everything you wanted to do? And I'm like, no. You do not have to complete everything imaginable, success-wise or relationship-wise or whatever you want to imagine in life, just to be content. That puts the bar a little way too high, in my opinion. But it's more so the fact of, regardless of when you die or wherever life's going to take you, you are never going to do everything that you ever wish to do, and you are never going to tie up every loose end, relationship-wise or business-wise, success-wise, whatever you want to label that as. Any loose ends or untreated things you didn't get to do, that's going to be every stage of your life. You'll never get through all of it. Never. Because our minds are way too vast for that kind of thing. And so it's more so me being content with my own personal standards and ideologies that I live by, that I drive my purpose and passions through, Because I even if I don't put up the heaviest weight that I'll ever put up in my life, or if I don't hit the highest level of success that I'm potentially able to get to, that doesn't mean that none of it was worth it. He was like, if nobody remembers your name, then none of it was worth it. And I'm like, that's not true at all. It's worth it to me. I don't give a shit if anybody remembers me or not. You will all forget me. That's just how life is. We're all individually living through a life based off societal norms. But everybody's living through their own individual life. Everybody's their own main character, So that's why you really got to take your life in your own hands and, be accepting and content with the fact that you are putting in 100% of what you are trying to do every day, I could break my kneecaps tomorrow. And if I wake up the next day and I'm doing small little kicking motions to get that feeling back in my knee, that's 100% for that day, baby. It doesn't matter if it's not as heavy or if it's not as technically cool or stunning or impressive as people want to put it, as people want to state it as being. It's a matter of, I sat there and I put in my absolute best for what life threw at me that day, regardless of the cards that were dealt to me. And that's what I find my purpose and happiness through. That and the people. God damn it, I love my people. I will always push my passion through my people. I love being selfishly selfless because I love the feeling I get when I just get to support the raw positivity and uplifting of all my homies and all my loved ones, It brings me no better joy than that. He was saying that the love that he has for Jesus is like no other, and I told him, I was like, I'm not comparing, and because I don't know what you've been through and I don't know how you feel about it, but I have an experience that I guarantee you I would say is something that you'll never get to experience either. My experience with my girlfriend and my family members that I love and cherish, people that I know are my ride or dies, the one that will support me through anything and will always be there for me, no matter what. That's that feeling that I will never be able to compare to anything else. That will, that's part of what keeps me loving life so much. So, regardless, way too much fucking philosophy today. Sorry for getting way too deep, but I love talking about this shit. You know me, guys. I gotta get the cool shit out sometimes. I love talking about some good mental health and just whatever you want to believe in, but just be happy, damn it. Why waste your life worrying about shit that you can't control? Just do the best that you got today. If your best today is doing a homework assignment and going for a little walk, god damn it, own that shit. But recognize whether or not you're actually, reaching the standard of maximum effort that you want to get to. Because I know I got there today. And if tomorrow I go in there and I don't do it, I'm going to know. And the greatest thing about that is that's why I have good hopes for the future, because if I go in there and I mess up and I don't put in the maximum effort that I wanted to do that day, it just leads for so much more growth and positivity in the next day. And then the next and the next and the next. That's what I'm talking about, damn it. Ugh. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry I yapped too long, but I love talking about it. I'll be back tomorrow for some good pause clean and jerk and normal bench press. So that'll be fun. Get to go a little bit heavier on the bench. We'll just see how it feels. I don't want to rush my chest, but I think my pec has been doing way, way better. So we'll just see how it all feels. I'm going to just do my best and love every moment of it. So I appreciate you guys sticking around, same old, doing the thing, but pop in. Let me know how your listening lives have been going. I love hearing about it because I care about you guys too, Even if I never get to meet you or if I ever get to interact with you directly, I care about the people I interact with, So just do your best. Love the life, love the lifts. And I will be back tomorrow. I love you guys. See ya.